If there is only one thing that you have to do as a content creator in order for you to continue creating content without ruining your life, it's this one thing. I've been a content creator for the past 8 years while doing a lot of other stuff like being in school/college and also doing a lot of activities. And I found out that it all comes down to this one thing that I'm gonna give you today. I promise that after this video, you'll be able to continue create content as well as maintaining your life and doing whatever you want and do it the correct way. And I promise all of this, and the way that I'm going to give it to you, I'm going to give you the story, give you the lesson, then I'm going to give you the secret that I think is only mine. Okay, we're going to start with the beginning, and it will all make sense in a second. So it started at 14 years old. I was 14 years old. I was very, very happy that I'm going to start making content. And the thing is, it's not that I wanted to create content, but it was filming the videos already for years and years before this, like 5 years, 6 years. I was filming videos with my Nokia, with this, and going, like my mother took me to the theme park or the circus, whatever you want to call it, and it was filming. I remember I was vlogging with my Nokia. Someone was literally next to me and he was like, dude, this is so crazy, with his eyes. But the thing is, I started at a very young age. And the thing is, I grew up with it. And content creation, I've been through a lot of different phases that, saying the least, are not very good. And I've been in amazing phases, of which I'm going to tell you about right now. And the best thing that I have in my almost a decade of creating content is the precious statistics. And it's not your average AVD, average view duration, statistics, your CTM, whatever. It's not that. It's literally statistics about everything else. So you will not find these statistics on YouTube platform, YouTube Studio. You have to do them yourself the way I did it. But the good thing is I'm going to give you my statistics, I'm going to give you my analysis, and I'm going to give you also the decisions that I've made. If I think that one important note that I have to do, that I learned from over almost a decade of creating content, will be that you have to understand that it is something here to stay. I remember I was talking to my mother the other day and I told her, I said, I know that I will never stop what I'm doing. So it was just in the middle of conversation. I was talking about it with her and I was saying, I know that I will just never stop what I was doing. So the thing is, if you know that, your mind works differently. Because if you're going to never stop doing that, you might as well just make the best decisions and try to get there as fast as humanly possible, get the best results, be the best as you can. Because that just shifts your mind. If you're going to say, I'm going to try this for 1 year and see how it works, you're probably going to be good for a few months and you're going to fall down because your little mindset is always preparing for the next thing. Once you say that I am here to stay, it doesn't matter what you do in your life. Whether you have family responsibilities, college, business that you have to be, or you are in a day-to-day job, 5 to 9, whatever time it is, or 12-hour shifts every 2 or 3 days. It doesn't matter. The thing it is, you have to comprehend that. You have to understand the fact that it's here to stay. You're doing social media, doing content creation. It's not something that is just passing. It's not a hobby that you're just passing. It's literally something that you will never stop. That's what I think. The most important lesson that I learned of almost a decade of creating content that I heard from this guy who is way bigger than me in any way possible. Like on Facebook, he makes $500. Dude, I've seen that. $500 in the past month. He gets millions and millions of views on Facebook. That's something that I don't do, And it was really like, I know he's more than me and he can give me advice. On YouTube, he has more subscribers. On Instagram, he has more followers. So I should hear from this guy. And also, he was one of the most famous people that I actually sit down and talk to in my entire life, not only my career of almost a decade. So I said, okay, this guy not only he is good, but also has a network of very good people. And I asked him, what's the advice that you will give me that you think will really help me? I am here to stay and I really want to get good at this. He said, look, if you're going to create content, create first with the people that are around you. I said, okay, what does this mean? He said, you see your city, there's not a lot of content creators. I said, yes, I know. It's exactly. That's what I'm telling you. He said, you have to look at your neighborhood and create content in your neighborhood with the people in your neighborhood. Before you get famous in the city, get famous in your neighborhood. You cannot get famous without being famous in your neighborhood. Who are the people that are around you? You're going to get famous in the people in the neighborhood, then you're going to get famous in the city. He said, that's how I did it. And when he was explaining to me step by step, it's like you have to talk to people. You have to find like a group of people that you always make videos with, and you have one or two that you have to make them teammates, sometimes tip them to actually stay with you. He was giving me practical advice. And the good thing is, as a billionaire, there's a billionaire that his assistant just went to. She's actually on Instagram. She did this. She said, what's the one advice that you will give me? You know why he told her? He said, the one advice that I will give you is don't take advice from people that are way ahead of you. Okay? So don't take advice from people that are 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of you. That's who you can learn more from them than anyone else. And the thing is, I truly believe that that is true, and I truly think that that's something that everyone must learn from. If I'm going to learn from Elon Musk right now that he has $200 billion, probably I'm not going to learn as much if I'm going to learn from Elon Musk who's 20 years old, 21, 22, 23 years old. And the only way for me to access that is by reading his book, his biography, stuff like that, or watching his old conferences. Not a lot at that age. But the thing is, you have to not only take advice from people that are in the stage you are in, but also take advice from people that are just 1, 2, 3 ahead of you. And the reason why this is so important, because people are way ahead of you. They're just detached completely from the situation you're in currently. They have no clue about where you are. They have no clue. So at least you have, when you ask someone who's 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of you, he has a good idea about where you are, and he can give you knowledge that you can practice immediately. So basically, content creation can be tricky. There's a lot of aspects that can get involved in your day-to-day life. One of them is fame. So fame is something that must be used correctly. If you have few thousands, few hundreds of thousands subscribers or followers, yeah, you're not famous, you're not influenced or whatever. You can be called micro and add whatever you want, insert whatever you want. But yeah, it's not micro, it's not influencer, it's not whatever. Okay, just make that clear. Because if you're gonna tell someone who has few hundred followers, few 100,000 followers, an influencer, what are you gonna say to people that have millions and now hundreds of millions, tens of millions? What you're gonna call those people? It doesn't make sense to say someone who has few thousands, dude, few thousands, or few tens of thousands, or few hundreds of thousands influencer, and also you go to Cristiano Ronaldo having 1 billion followers across all platforms, and you call him both the influencer. No, that's micro-influencer if you have to say it. It's not. Now, fame is part of it. Let's define what's fame. Fame is really just getting recognized, people knowing you, etc., recognizing your face, etc. I'm going to tell you my story with fame. So this is something that I've never told before, but my story with fame is actually very interesting. So I'm not famous, but I have people recognizing me here and there. 3 years ago, that's when it all started. I was actually selling band-aids in the market, and someone came to me. He said, dude, are you the guy on TikTok? I was like, yeah, that's me. And he bought from me. And he found it awesome. Like, awesome that he knew me and he actually wanted to support me and buy from me. That was awesome. Just a few months later, it's kind of like I got my viral hit piece, and it worked, and people were recognizing me more. You have these stories, whatever, it's just normal, it's whatever. The thing is, at some point I was unauthentic in my content, which means I was doing whatever it is just to get views, get. And I started hating when people recognize me in public. It's like someone recognized me, I just don't like it at all. And they say, just you don't understand. It's like they see me in social media in one way, and they see me in real life in one way. Whether that be in how you look, how you talk, how you speak, how you act, how you wear, where you are, what you do, whatever. And I didn't have all of those. I would have a few of them. And I realized that that's the problem. It's like I have to fix it. So now, obviously, I'm more authentic. I have no problem. I love when people say me. In fact, I support them. I say, do you want to take a picture? I'm going to take a picture with you. Do you want me to post it on Instagram? Do you want me to post it on Twitter, on story? I push people to actually film with me because I know that will help me more than just... That will help me. It's like, dude, he will have his moments. Probably will go to his family, his friend is going to say that I filmed with this guy. Some of them don't know me and they will just look for me. It's like that. That's your job. So now that I know this, I do this. But before I didn't. And I realized that fame is also like, I was watching all of these ultra famous videos that they don't like fame. And Justin Bieber, yeah, he's ultra famous. We're talking about hundreds of millions. Literally got billions and billions of eyeballs on him. Of course he's gonna have some struggles, but you having what? You don't even have 1 billion views. Like, I don't have a B. It's like I don't even have 100 million views to my name. Okay, so what are we talking about here? It's not fame. And you see all of these comparisons that you see online. It's like 100. It's like if 100,000 have seen you, it's this amount of people. It can fill this amount of stadiums. Yeah, but it's not that. If people are gonna all gather all there, it must have to be something. But if you're just scrolling on their phone and you take their attention for 2 seconds, it's not the same effect. They're not all here for you. They just go, it's like, sure, there is those people, but it's just passing by. Or there's like a window in the stadium that you just went there. Probably nobody noticed. Some people probably did, but not everyone. You understand? This makes a difference. So here we say, like, from this stadium, how much percentage that people see? It's like 1%, something like that. So if you have 1 billion, okay, 1% of 1 billion sure makes sense. Say 1 million people see it, like whatever. But when you say it's like 100, I don't even have 100 million views to my name. I don't have the right to say I'm famous. And this is something that I want you to comprehend. So as a content creator, you have to know where are you on the scale from 1 to 10. It's like how many views do you get a month, how many, whatever. There's this Shiraz. Shiraz is someone who is known for fame. He markets himself as the one who literally made Logan Paul famous, Zendaya, worked with Kim Kardashian, etc. You know the trend now. And he says, I define fame as the power of someone or influence. The power of someone that will say, I'm going to go to this place, by how many people will show up. Or if he tells let's say puts in his story, go buy this thing, how many people will buy it? He said, that's fame. Now it makes all the sense. You're like, oh, now I understand. Probably if I'm going to say I'm going to go to this thing, probably nobody will show up. Okay. If I'm going to say go buy this thing, probably nobody will buy. Or like few people. Okay, that's fame. Now I understand. It's like, can you explain it to me in more detail? Now I'm going to explain it to you in more detail. Here's what I think. In the past month alone, I met with so many famous people. In fact, all of them combined make almost 9 million followers and more. So it's almost 10 million followers combined. And what is one thing that I noticed in all of them? They look good, they look awesome. And you're like, when you see him, you're like, of course he's a celebrity. Do they have a character of a celebrity? When you see them, okay, celebrity is a tricky thing, but I'm gonna tell them a celebrity for now. So they have a personality that make you... They have a personality that make it easy for you to become a fan of them. They look good, they smile, they take photos, etc. They feel the fame. They know they feel the fame. They act famous. I've seen these football players, Hakimi, who has 22 million followers. He just passed by me and it feels that he's famous. Obviously, if you don't know who he is, he's gonna look like a normal human. But the thing is, you know he's famous of like there's 30 people that are calling his name, he's not even looking. He's just used to that. He's seen that every time. It's like part of the process. You know, the cost of being what it is. And probably he played with even more famous players that knows what it is. So now you understand. So, one of the biggest misunderstandings in the industry of creating content is this one. is the information gap that is created by the knowledge that is produced. There is a lot of podcasts that shows you how to be better at YouTube, how to know the details and insights and all of that. The thing with it is that most of them will harm you more than do good. Take it from experience. I have friends who follow them all the time, and I realized that the more we learn, the more we go through that path, the less we become in terms of our content creation existence. You don't want to be in that realm. On the other hand, you want to be in the realm where you do more. You make volume. You make a lot of stuff. You produce a lot of things. And that's just what it is. So learning, it's called analysis paralysis for a reason, because you analyze and you're just stuck there and you don't do anything. So make sure that you understand and you comprehend deep in your mind that the best way for you to learn anything is to put it into practice. Do volume. If we're going to learn how to edit videos, instead of looking for a Hillier Smith trick that he did in Logan Paul about 5 years ago, it makes all the sense to fucking go edit 100,000 videos. 2,000 videos, 200, whatever it is. It's like for a year. How many videos you edited last year? 100, 200, 300, 1,000, 2,000. It's like, that's what it is. If you're going to edit 10,000 videos, you better be good. Because you have to be good to keep up. It's so boring that you're gonna just discover and get the skill along the way. And you're gonna be, I'm just spending so much time. How can I just fast forward? And you'll find out all of these tricks. It's just what it is. And the thing is, you can't do it unless if you put in volume. Like, sure, you can go to the greatest school about editing knowledge, editing learning, and I'm not here talking bad about them, but all what I'm saying is you have to also put in the work. You have to put in volume. You will learn more from volume than you will learn from anything else on the planet. Why? Because simply that's how human works. When you're going to do something, do it again. The likelihood of you actually being good at that is way better, is way higher. That's why they say if you're going to do something, anything, in any industry of your choosing industry, for 100 hours a year, you're going to be in the top 5%. So you're better than 95% just by doing something for 18 minutes a day. And why it always has to be related to time? Because that's what it is. Time equals volume. It's like you cannot do something for 18 minutes and be just standing. It has to be actually doing that thing. And if you set your mindset that you know that you're going to do it for 100, 200, 300, 500 times in the future, your mindset get put in a certain place where you know that you're gonna do it anyways, so you might as well just learn how to make it better and actually make every count worth. And do it fast. Which is like what makes skills. Like when we say someone is skilled, is how good he makes something in the amount of time he's given. When we say someone is skilled at, let's say, scripting, he makes good scripts in less time than most people. That's the definition. Okay? That's awesome. Good. Now, if you want to be skilled at anything, if it's content creation, then you create great content that drive results or not in very short time. The best is great content that drives viewers or drives results in less time. And that's why you see, like, I'm going to see, let's say Mr. Beast. He makes in a month how many billion views? How many millions of views? Hundreds of millions of views. Dude, a billion of views, I'm pretty sure. The reason why is because he has that leverage. He is mastering the skill. Now, you can't be at that level, obviously, because he's working with 450 people, probably now it's 500 or more, that all of them are mastering their industry or whatever. So you're getting the leverage. Now you don't have that, but what you have is the opportunity to master your skill. That if that being just hosting, these people that are hosts. I just met a girl the other day, like 1 month ago. She does just hosting basically, and that's her content. She just like whatever there is an event happening, whatever there is festival happening, she just introduce the stuff. It's like, today we're gonna do this one thing and it's happening just one time in this state, etc. You know those videos, it's like the news. But that's her work. If she's gonna master that, she's better do it more than anybody else. If she's gonna do it 1,000 times, probably she will be better than most people in that, especially because it's a niche of a niche of a niche. So the more niche down you are, it's like to master editing. It's harder than mastering editing that edit short-term or like short-form videos that are about dogs that are trained. Of course it's faster to become the best in such a niche than trying to become the best editor in the world. And obviously it's easier to convince people if you want to be an editor. So if you're a content creator, that's not it. But if you want to be an editor on the side, the hustle, whatever, it's easier to be an editor for someone who goes through that niche. If someone has dogs training channel that makes short form content, he's gonna love what you do. He's gonna be no-brainer. He's gonna hire you. Especially if he has some sort of cash flow, whatever. The reason why is just like make volume, and the more niche down, it's better. So if you're a content creator, probably you don't have that, or probably you do. It depends on what your niche, what are you talking about, what's your type of content, what is your style, what you do in your life, what's your lifestyle, all of that. The thing is, you have to learn this stuff yourself. You have to just comprehend that there's a lot of prices that you have to do, you have to pay. There is a price tag on anything that you want. And just keep this in your mind, because look, here I'm literally giving you more than one knowledge point. And the thing is, do this and make them with volume, okay? And literally, what I promised will literally happen. And the good thing about it is that you can do it right now, immediately, without the need of any other information. What you've seen here you can never unseen, so you might as well subscribe.